Hi everybody, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, unfortunately, the situation on the Serenade of the Sea just got even worse. Royal Caribbean has some good news for us though, and it's all about their new royal paradise, the new place being built in Nassau, and how you're going to get back and forth. They've come up with a solution. You don't have to drive, you don't have to walk. We'll talk about that. Carnival Cruise Line has a guest wondering, hey, you guys are just doing a money grab. You're just doing a money grab because you're making us prepay for our dining reservations for specialty restaurants. And he wants to know why they're just doing a money grab, because they're not respecting the customers. And finally, somebody in Portland, Oregon has a pretty good sense of humor. Today's video is brought to you by Private Internet Access. Well, you've often heard while people are traveling that all of a sudden their credit cards don't work or they get locked out of their bank accounts. Well, some of the reasons for this is that they're just not using a VPN to hide their information. Now, I always use a VPN whenever I travel. I just traveled to Africa, to Europe, to the Mediterranean, all in the same month, and I had my VPN running 24/7 on my computer to make sure that nothing gets taken from me. Now, what a VPN does is it hides your IP address. It makes it almost impossible for hackers and scammers to lock into your accounts when you're doing business or making card payments, looking at your credit card statements, or even emailing yourself, because you don't want your personal information, your mailing address, your home phone number, your anything like that getting out to these scammers who are looking to just steal your money. Now, why did I choose Private Internet Access? Well, one thing, they have a no log policy, which means they're not storing my own personal information. So even if they got hacked, I don't get hacked, which is great. That's exactly what I want. Also, I can do not one device, not two devices, not 10 devices. I can do unlimited devices under the same plan. I always have a VPN whenever I'm cruising and traveling, and even at home, I always have my VPN running. So if you'd like to give Private Internet Access a try, why not follow my link down below and you can get 83% off your subscription plus 4 months free. Thanks again to Private Internet Access for sponsoring this video. So things got worse on the Serenade of the Seas. We first got our first report. There was about 70 passengers and crew members who came down ill. Only one was a crew member. Well, now that number in just a couple of days has reached almost 100 people, and they have now arrived in Florida on the end of that 13-day Panama Canal journey. Here's the kicker now. It has a 3-day cruise to the next port, and then it's setting up for its Southern Caribbean and Panama itineraries for this time of the year. It doesn't look like they've delayed embarkation at all for the passengers on the next sailing, which could be because they only have a limited number. It's only a 3-day cruise. Maybe it's only like 40% full, so they feel that they can get a really good deep cleaning in while this is happening. But normally in this situation, when they have that kind of outbreak, they delay embarkation and they do a really big, stringent deep cleaning, but it doesn't seem like that's what's happening in this case. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on, and hopefully it doesn't go on the 3-day and then continue on to the next journeys out there. Just, yeah, fingers crossed for the people on those next sailings. Royal Caribbean has, in the Nassau, they're building the beach club there, their private area. You can see it when you park with the cruise ships. The terminal's right there, like the ports and the docks, and you can see the island being built. It's opening this December. Well, they are now saying that they have a company there that is going to be running the shuttles. And they're very colorful shuttles back and forth. They're not going to be in your tenders. It'll be a transport company that'll be running you back and forth during the day. for this thing, and they're very colorful. They look really cool, actually, and they have some really fun names, like the Lucky Lizard is one name, Flirty Flamingo is another one. So they're trying to have a little bit of fun with the vibe of the beach club that's coming. So instead of just a tender going across or having to hop in a bus, you're going to have these very colorful, very nice boats to move you across. I think that was a smart idea on their part. Next, let's talk about Portland, Oregon. As you know, right now, the storms that were going on in the Caribbean has chased a lot of cruise ships from that area, Bermuda, Bahamas, etc. And now they're basically heading towards Canada, completely the opposite direction. And one of those stops has become Portland. And Portland, Maine has now come out, and while people were getting off the ship, they saw a sign there that somebody wrote saying, "Welcome to Portland, the Northern Bermuda." Somebody has a pretty good sense of humor. I see the humor in it. I don't know if some of the passengers did, but I thought it was kind of humorous. And you gotta roll with those punches, folks. You don't want to sail into a hurricane. You got to make the best of it, and I thought this was, pretty funny myself. Next, let's talk about a person who wrote into John Hill. Now, John Hill didn't answer this question directly, but he did do a poll. So this person was saying, why does Carnival charge when you make a reservation in a specialty restaurant? We need more flexibility. This is nothing but a money grab. Well, they kind of answer their own response rate there by saying we need more flexibility. In other words, we need to be able to cancel, right? We need to be able to not go if we don't want to. If we decide we're tired, we don't want to go to the specialty restaurant, or we decide we can get into another specialty restaurant, we want to do that. So we just want to be able to cancel it and not have to pay any fees or penalties for canceling a specialty restaurant. But remember, specialty restaurants are limited. And so there's thousands of people on these cruise ships and only limited space in these dining venues. And so they want to make sure that they're open to people who want to go, which is why you basically have to, pay in advance. Now, John Hill put this up on the Carnival Facebook page, and about 400 people agreed with this person that it's kind of a money grab, etc. But over 5,000 people responded saying, no, it makes perfect sense to charge for specialty restaurant. This way, you're holding it for people who actually want to go and aren't just going to book a whole bunch of dining reservations and then cancel at the last minute. What do you guys think? Do you think that's a fair statement? Do you think, you know what? Maybe it is a little bit of a money grab. Well, I don't know if it's so much a money grab as a guarantee you're selling your product more than something to people who want to take in your product. Let me know in the comments down below, and until next time, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.